Well, this is a first ever. Yeah, this is incredible. I can't believe it's taken this long for us to actually ever see this. One and all, we've got House of Lancaster going up against English. That's right, they're progenitive. I've not seen this yet, not once. I've seen English a few times on the new patch, but they feel like they're mostly a dead civ. But especially in competitive, I never would have expected this, especially on a land map like this. We are on Sunken Lands, which is a little bit like Carmel, with some twists and turns. And we're going to be opening the series with Anavaku playing as English up against Miomaika. That's right, that crazy Vietnamese guy we love to watch as the House of Lancaster. Yeah, interesting picks on this map overall. I mean, there's a lot of deer on this map still, so you'd think you'd actually be kind of leaning towards Pro Scouts. Neither civ does that here. Gold Veins as well. There is a decent amount in the corner. I think House of Lancaster on Carmel feels like a bit of a throw. Whereas House of Lancaster on here can make a little bit more sense because you at least have the 4K vein. So that's very important because for House of Lancaster, they're more gold-driven than most people realize. A lot of their options, like Hobalars, Night Spam, etc., things that they do well, revolve around the idea of being able to get gold, or you're stuck playing manas. And it's not that manas can fail you. It's not that they aren't an MVP. But I think mana spam into, like, Yeoman Spears here could actually be a negative because it's English on the other side. And those Lombos are meant to be the kings of ranged battles. Oh, you guys talking about Dota 2 and the experiences? Yeah, I stand by it. Like, Age of Empires 4 is so much simpler to understand and get into. But even when you start to get in the build orders of things, there is a lot less happening in a game of AoE 4, even at the absolute highest level, than, like, happening in a game of Dota 2. There's so many different variables ticking every minute in that game. Like, you know, if Dota 2 was a solo game, if it didn't have the fact that it's 5v5, I think MOBAs in general wouldn't have done as well as they did. So we have got Lancaster Castle on the way. He is just going to be in for standard mana spam build. Anavaku, is this Council Hall? Or is he going 2TC? Because I feel like if you're 2TCing, you'd be on the stone already. He's actually over gathering. I don't think he's sure what he wants to do here. Okay, yeah, Abbey of King's coming in. So does he go for like a Horseman Abbey of King's all in? No, we are going to be seeing TC Boom. So TC versus mana spam. You'd think 2TC would just be able to eclipse that, right? But it's trickier. The problem is timings. It's so much easier and quicker for a mana to pay off than a TC. That's the very big conundrum you run into. Which unit will Mio One Trick Pony? Mio Micah? Honestly, I think you just flood Knights. Yo, like, what does English do against Knights? I mean, they can spear to a certain degree, but they'll be stuck in their base. Actually, I just saw the spawn. Yeah, he doesn't care about Knights. What? You can just hide in your corner with this spawn. He got triple back gold? Damn, that's more back shots than your mama. I'm not going to finish that statement. Deer are already so obnoxiously close to both their bases, by the way. You start with 5 deer stack, easily shovable. He doesn't have to go deep for a TC, so like he will likely go wider. I wouldn't be surprised if he builds the TC here and shoves this deer in because of the fact that it is mana spam, which means that Miyamika is not going to be attacking him. At least not in a rush. He's using the Lancaster Castle to shoot the deer. That's brilliant. I've actually not seen anyone bother to do that so far. It's like, oh, but not that one. Let that one come further in and then shoot him. Oh, brilliant. Good sheep haul as well, by the way. 21 sheep here for Lancaster. Hell of a good start. I don't know if we're going to see them move out for like a TC this wide. I think for Anavaku it would take too long without wheelbarrow. Even though these corners are super high value because you can see it condenses a lot of food. By the way, I think this map actually fixes a lot of the issues that Carmel has around food. There's overall less food, but the way it's spread makes more sense. Like having this much food right next to your base is OP. Having it on the other side of the map, in the neutral territory, I think that's something I can get behind from a balance point. The only negative that might develop on this map as a meta is how easily wallable these high-value food areas are. So, this little mountainside might prove to be a bit too good. Okay, so deer, I'm guessing? Yeah, slaps on the deer. The deepest you can get, actually. And I think Anavaku is probably, just going to shove the other deer into the TC. Makes sense. So if you place the TC here, it doesn't really want stone, and then he's further away from secondary resources. This at least allows you to kind of insulate up against this tree line very easily, and then that skews the back goal behind fully. Kings arrive, though. Ding, ding. Anavaku, smart move, just gets the short bows out. In fact, you need to be careful. Yeah, that was close to death. Anavaku, playing with fire in that moment, actually. I think if me and Micah just pulled these villagers and chased, he would have had the kill, which would have been huge here. He's going to take a long time to heal now. What do you guys think? Ones, if you think Anavaku is going to win this game. Twos, if you think me and Micah. It's pretty much you gambling on whether you think 2TC or mana spam is going to be better. Tricky call, it feels like. You don't even know Anavaku? Anavaku's decent at the game. We've actually seen him take games off of top players. Like, the most notable one in my brain was when he took Dumu on in an Order of the Dragon Mirror and completely dismantled him, to be fair about it. Like, Anavaku is a bit of an Order of the Dragon specialist, so it does make sense. But yeah, in terms of ranking, he's 264th for the mob right now. He finished last season 211th. He's consistently been posting in the top 300 for 4 seasons in a row now. So definitely a capable lad, and also a lot more consistency than me and Micah by comparison. Like, me and Micah definitely has the legacy on his side as a StarCraft 2 pro that has kind of been hit or miss on the regularity of play in 1v1 formatting. Looks like Anavaku is going to scout out early what's happening here. I think he did actually glimpse the white tower going up. So me and Micah, I'm a little bit surprised actually by the white tower choice here. I wouldn't really see there's any pressure on you to do this. No, because your opponent went 2TC. Like, to me, this is overly defensive, actually. Maybe he wants to play mass men-at-arms. That could be what it is. So, like, by scaling into the castles early and getting the +1 damage, you essentially offset armor-clad from your opponent once you have a second keep. I still don't think it's worth it over King's College. King's College, like, any game where you cannot get that college, I feel like it's a game you feel bad in. And, wow, that makes me even feel badder for him. Like, he went double stables. So just imagine this game now if he had Collar Vesses, because Collar Vesses would offset the armor-clad men-at-arms, it would beat the king, it would beat mass English knights. Just deals with everything. A little bit of poke damage coming in here. Has he got the dagger throw recharging? Yeah, so if he keeps chasing, maybe, and that's why Anavaku needs to break line of sight. So we'll get away with the scout. It has slowed down that timing, right? These Elsguard could have been, what, about here? Basically about 10 seconds away from the base by now. King's College is more fun. It's not just more fun, it's just better. Like, you know when you'd watch someone build a Berkshire's English in their base? You're like, well, he done that because he was forced to. That's White Tower. You know, at least with the English 2TC build, you know, you had to do it because you were being too greedy, but it made sense. You were already getting something. You got 2TC. But with the mana spam, like, I don't think you need the White Tower for that defensive mechanism against 1 or 2 knights as much. And to give up so many options, like the Hobalars in this matchup could be surprisingly effective in the late game. You've got also Collar Vesses, so your knights just destroy everything. And then also, considering that, like, English plays Spear Longbow a lot in late game, and you go Yeoman, the plus 20% more bonus damage tech would also be huge. White Tower from Anavaku makes a lot more sense. He's getting idled out. No undermesh there, mind you, so me and Micah are not really able to consistently dive. Yeah, actually a little bit unfortunate. I think if me and Micah had the undermesh, he would have just kept sending it here. So instead, Anavaku will be able to pull the villagers. The dagger throws, not going to deter him. Second TC is at least being idled out, but he got the food there already. He's still got the food to fall back on underneath the white tower. Now the dive from Miyamika feels a little bit too late here. TC's protected. White tower up. Mio instead will have to play the economy game. He's already looking after relics. How do I have the energy? You went to bed with me casting and woke up with me casting? Boom, baby. Deliver the content. Was it my go live was? Like, not even a subathon. Choo choo. It's a commitment. What can I say? I want to see this community grow into bigger and bigger things. Can you explain that bonus tech from King's College? Does it just multiply off like Expo versus Armor? Yes, correct. So there is a tech. I've forgotten the name. It's something tactics. So not to be confused with Elite Army Tactics. But what it does is it adds 20% bonus damage to all your units. So, for example, if you have Coloresses, that actually means that you, instead of getting +6, you're going to get plus 7.2. So, you know, and then for the crossbows, like the crossbows coming out here, if these were Lancaster crossbows with that tech, instead of getting +10 to heavy, they'd get +12. It is very much a later in the game tech. I don't rate that tech highly in Castle Age. But Imperial is where it gets kind of nuts. Okay, so Miyamika's relic grab's going to look pretty good here. Anavaku isn't even trying to creep in the ones that should feel safe. He's still be friend. And Mio may be 10 villages behind, but we have to remember he has got 3 manas. He's going to have 3 more on the way shortly. And a lot of units now getting queued up. I think Anavaku needs to start prepping his own army, actually. Yeah, wow. Okay, I was about to say, where did the out of time come in here? Obviously, there's the poke raids, but things like this as well. He ran out into the corner. Doesn't even have wheelbarrows. This was pretty expensive, actually. Credit to Anavaku. He's at least doing a good job scouting here. He's getting a lot of free information with these type of rotations. Key for him as well. Like, his goal is to be able to pivot accordingly. He needs to see the yeoman, though. And, yeah, there we go. I hope he saw that. It's actually quite important. Yeoman will just disintegrate mass crossbow. This is a 5 relic game. Oh, my God. He already snatched the one on the south. Another problem here for Anavaku is he needs to make that farm switch still. It is cheap, but it's still a resource sink that isn't units. Yeah, and he's going to have to make it soon. He's pretty much exhausted himself down to berries at this stage. Only has 3 farms. Now getting a rack switch makes sense against Yeoman. The problem here is dynamics aren't your usual. So with Lancaster, you know, going spear Yeoman feels really good because of the unique spearman tech, Billman. Billman against these men at arms is going to offset a big chunk of the effect of the armor clad that you get for MAA. Look, don't get me wrong, it's still going to be a heavily fortified unit. The problem is, you're probably not going to be able to touch the yeoman at all. Another thing to think about problematically here for Anavaku rather, is that Miyamika will eventually have synchronized shot. And while Lombos are in a prolonged engagement good against yeoman, at the beginning, that burst shot can give an overwhelming edge. Because as you run in, you're wielding insanely slow units here. Crossbow longbows. Doesn't really get slower than this on the range comp. One big sink shot could just sink the whole ship. What do you dump all the food into? What, Anavaku? He had double TC, right? So you always have to remember, straight away when you see this type of number up here, like take whatever food income they have and remove 300. Because that's for villager production alone. Yeah, it's like, this is why I always warn people about, you know, rushing 2 TC isn't always just a winning strat. You have limited food and you're burning through that food twice as quickly for villager production alone. That's before thinking about the fact you're probably going to have to add in units to contest your opponent. Ain't cheap. Cap attempt. He's going to get denied. Well played. Does cost him the king, but Miyamika, yeah, a little bit scramble brain on the engagement there. Didn't really need the yeoman to rotate in. But look at this. He's been given the golden situation. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the golden tech. He's going Hobalars without the King's College. This is, to be very plain and simple about it, disastrous. We just watched Lucifer on yesterday, lose what looked like an unlosable game because of mass Hobalar spam. This game is better for the Hobalar than that one. I'll give him that. But he is missing a key tech. There is a tech in the King's College called Hill Force. It doubles the production rate of Hobalars, which is crazy. It means you produce them every 8 seconds. And the other thing it does is it changes your damage on your first strike from 9 base to 22. You did hear that correctly. And here's the other thing about that unique tech. It also affects bonus damage. So when you charge into those longbows on the other side, your first strike would be doing something like 42, 44, 45 damage. To a unit that only has 80 HP. So that's where Hobalars actually are giga strong. It's a unit that should not be slept on given the right circumstances, but unfortunately that said tech can't exist because Miyamika chose this landmark. Calming moment here. Zanavaku is going into Armclads. So, wait, did he see it? He's prepping spears now against Yeoman. Like, that makes no sense unless he saw the hobbies. Really big deal, actually. Does need to be careful because that synchronized shot is on the way. So, if you put your spearmen together in one location, that sync shot hits, they're going to melt. Because remember, the synchronized shot does apply bonus damage as well. And so spears in particular evaporate. He summoned the House Elves. Now, the key to making this Hobalar strat work is you need to have about 30 of them or more. If you trickle them in, they are worthless. It's all about the shock factor. An ability to overwhelm. Like, truly, this is the way that Lancaster plays like a Zerg Civ. I've even seen them out-Zerg Malians with this comp. Fuck, Ezekiel Lead is getting a bit worrisome here. Flash is going to come in, though. Here's a small choke point. And there's the sync shot. Good hit. Not enough to finish them off. The hobbies are going to wrap around the back, but a lot of them actually get stuck on a single man-at-arms here. A few spearmen left alive are going to be pulled to the back side of this. He's going for the exchange there. Now, it's in key that he doesn't attack the Hobalars, because remember, they have extra ranged armor here compared to standard horsemen. And it looks like it is going to be chow time. Able to eat into him. The outpost a little bit too late there from Anavaku. Can it stabilize him now, though? And the Hobalar counter is almost gone. They've been gobbled up. There's just nothing left of them. He's at least going to be able to snipe the Treb. But no doubt about it, Miyamika needs to run. Oh, that almost looks so good. But you can see the burnout effect from the lack of Hobalars. But on top of that, it's the outpost. That attack speed changed so much about the engagement. It just guaranteed the end was a chef's kiss moment for Anavaku. Now, the crawl begins. Sync shot, another thing that was awkward in that fight. You saw it, the health bars were so low, but not finished off. Miyamika didn't incrementally target them down. It's not like he picked 4 yeomen to kill a 10 HP longbow here or there. He just kind of A-clicked into on the front side or overkilled on each. He had just maybe 5 more yeomen. That fight would have began with Anavaku being an extra 8 or 9 units down. Yeah, with a lot of overgathering here, which is crazy considering how small his eco count is by comparison. Anavaku getting deeper in that farm transition. It's only 14 so far, but this should ramp up fast now, considering there's not much food left. Trebs are knocking the door. And you know what they say about Hobalars, guys? If it didn't work, you just didn't Hobalar hard enough. Yeah, if it didn't work, you need to hobble through the strategy again. He's going to go in. No, please get the Treb kill. Oh, my God. He's not going to stop building them. It's tricky, right? Like, Osgard isn't a terrible idea here into what Anavaku has. Slightly worse than the men-at-arms on performance due to the +2 armor versus the +1 damage. But you do get that free hit at the beginning of a fight. And the thing is to remember about Osgard as well is you're not paying more than what your opponent would be for their men-at-arms. It's kind of refreshing to see English. I mean, I still think this attack speed aura is toxic as all hell, but I don't mind seeing them every once in a while, considering it feels like it has been a long time since we've seen them play more of a standard build, shall we say, where they actually add units and try to fight, where there's not water involved in the equation. Even the proxy base now, all over the place. Yeah, he's spamming up the stables because Miyomaka doesn't have any anti-armor. Oh, he has 4 crossbows. Not really that impressive. Nor is that sync shot. Should have been against the longbows, but the problem is, guys, sync shot. Do you know why like sync shot looks OP for a lot of people still? It's because you're being forced to react in a predictable way. And, oh my god. What? Just get your bows out. Come on. I just realized this could be the funnest villager war matchup in the game because both sides have short bows. But yeah, to the point of sync shot, the thing that makes sync shot look really, really strong is when you have to react in a predictable way, like a retreat or a chase. Like this, like as he starts to stack up there, that's how these people keep getting crazy sync shots. But when you're already in position for the fight, or if you don't feel like you're in a rush, that ability tends to underperform. I mean, just look at that hit. It's definitely 3 unit kills, like tip of the hat. But it's not that jackpot of 10 to 15 dead. Should cast low Ela ladder, plenty of English there. Yeah, but I don't know if there's a lot of Lancaster. I think most of those goldies moved up to platinum by playing Lancaster. Hobalar is just desperate to try and get a Treb kill, it seems. Anavaku is now adding in the siege, though, and we have also got horsemen on the way. Gee, wouldn't it be nice to have a good horseman? I think Anu does need to be a little bit careful. He's kind of rushing. And I'm not sure why. Doesn't feel necessary here. No, like, what was me and Micah meant to do from this position right now? You could argue Yeoman can kind of counter-raid, but Anavaku has a fairly condensed economy, just a few struggling groups on the flanks. I think for Anavaku, he just needs to take a chill pill and get the farm transition complete. He's still only at 20, which feels kind of low for 22 minutes. That mango's kind of potato aiming, not gonna lie. Ah, decent wall up there, though. Mio not respecting it. I'm not sure why Mio is so protective of this siege workshop as well. It's not really doing anything with it. Then again, I guess with so little food income, he's going to have to do something. He has almost 3,000 gold right now. What on earth is happening here? He has found his way out into food, but limited. And yeah, the way he's gathering a little bit ugly. He does realize it now and switches to berries. There's just not much left in this corner, though. You have to remember, this isn't English. This is. But this is Lancaster, and that means the farms are very expensive to go into. If only there was like a way that you could generate, 45 wood from a building to make a farm transition easier, right? Like, that would be crazy. Like, if you could maybe just generate 405 wood passively per minute, then actually a farm transition wouldn't be too difficult. What is difficult is actually getting these hobbies in. If I say that, the man goes... Oh, he gets both. He might get more. Sing shot comes in, catches the spears. Treb's dead as well. The Hobalar has just got maximum value there. But now it's the horseman's turn. Oh no. He knows it as well. He ducked up. There's no getting away from these guys. The patience from Anavaku. Stockpiled up to 18, and now we ride or we die. Hobalars have to turn around to defend, but they have no melee armor, less HP than the standard horsemen. They are not built to tank this. They are going to have to take the knee. And it feels like Miyamaka is going to have to in game number 1, because now that Anavaku has sensed the effectivity of this, I have a feeling we'll be seeing plenty more ponies out of the English. Villagers also being hemorrhaged. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. It's a double villager lead. Anavaku's food income is still quite weak. But now that he's realized just how good horsemen are, I think you just spam them until the end of time. Mew now forced to go into Spearman, which feels like the GG blow. Like, having to go Spears here against Lombos doesn't get much worse than that. Other thing to also keep in mind about this matchup, by the way, guys, is Lombos have higher base damage. The idea that Horsemen, the Hobalars, are worth it because they have extra ranged armor gets mitigated by that factor. Against normal archers, yeah, they do nothing. You don't care. Against LBs, damage still registers, especially on a unit that has less overall HP. Looks like the longbow wave at least can get shut down, but damage just kind of reaped at this stage. Doesn't look like Anno's going for attack timing. He's at 40 farms now, so once you're at about 50, 55, you can just keep like outmassing and tech. For Mio, though, the food doesn't exist anymore. It's got 21 deer over here, as in 21 food on the deer. The boar just got raided, which is why he's not gathering there anymore. Yeah, this is over. Well, people ask the question, like, who is Anavaku? This is Anavaku. Comes in with the English against what a lot of people think is OP Lancaster and slaps them about like it's nothing. Yeah, because like although the fights weren't just completely pushing in one direction all the time, shall we say, the reality check is this game was always moving in one direction. There's no doubt about it. Apparently old is better than new, but I guess a community of boomers like us already knew that.